Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. As you can tell from the title, today's video is going to be all about how to film better travel videos. So I'm joined by my bestie, Christianne, who makes awesome travel videos all about backpacking. You kind of solo backpack all around the world.
Solo backpacking and adventure stuff mainly.
How to travel on a budget, how to cook on a budget when you're in hostels.
Yes.
Speaking of which, we just filmed a video all about that on Christie's videos where we went to the supermarket and prepared a bunch of dishes.
To make in a hostel kitchen, which is not easy because you're quite limited in a hostel kitchen. So we've come up with some really good meal ideas.
Head over to Christie's video, give it a watch and subscribe if you haven't already. I feel like Christie would be the perfect person to make this video with because we have quite similar shooting and editing styles, but on very different topics. So we've split this into 3 different sections. The first one's going to be all about planning. The second one's all about production, so actually going out and filming. And then the final section is going to be about editing. So after you're done with that bite, shall we begin?
Number 1. So something that I always do in the planning process of my videos is I think about what I like to watch, because if I don't even want to watch it, then I can't expect anyone else to want to watch my videos. So I like to do a lot of research by looking at other people's videos. And if they do something that I like, I'm like, okay, what have they just done there? What have they done that I really, really like? Because I want to try and take that technique and apply it to my own work.
Number 2, I would say to have an idea of what type of video that you want to make beforehand, because within travel there's so many different types of videos. You can do a travel vlog, which is a lot more personal, follow me around. You've got a travel guide, which is less about you personally, but more about the destination.
And if it's a travel guide, you're going to want to do research.
Yeah, exactly. And you need to know exactly what you're going to say, some facts about the place, things to do.
The way you make your videos will massively differ depending on what video style you choose.
Yeah.
So you're filming, so it's really important that you do know that.
Yeah, because then you film that with that idea in mind. And also outside of that, you don't have to do anything in front of the camera. I feel like a lot of people who do travel, sometimes they're like, oh, but I don't like to talk in front of the camera, I don't want to vlog. You can still do like sequences and montages, and you can still make that into a story. You can also go within that. So obviously you do a lot of adventure and I do a lot of food within travel. So you can specialise in different verticals and topics within that as well.
The video needs to have a purpose.
What do you want the video to do?
Yeah, what do you want the audience to feel? What do you want them to get out of this video? Because if you haven't even thought about that, the audience may not be getting anything out of that. If you do want to start building an audience, you need to think about that audience and what they're going to want to watch.
Yeah, to put it in food terms, what is the main takeaway? The third point, which is a point that you'll hear all the time in these kind of videos, but it is because it's the most important, and it is the story. Less about camera and equipment and fancy editing suites, but really you need to focus on what you're trying to tell. Like, you want your audience to feel something so emotionally that they want to come back and watch you time and time again.
I see so many people who are making YouTube videos now, and they're so cinematic. They're beautifully shot.
Yeah,
but
beautifully
shot.
Beautiful.
But they're boring because I'm like, where is this going? I'm sorry. I'm quite brutally honest when it comes to critiquing other people's videos.
She is. Very good though.
No, they're boring because there's nothing going on, and I'm like, oh, well, that's a nice shot, but why am I
You've just forgotten who they are afterwards.
Keep people's attention. There's got to be a story that people are following here.
It's all about storytelling. We love to tell stories.
We love to tell stories.
Love to tell stories.
So Instagram is a really good tool to use when planning your videos in terms of kind of location shooting. So when you're scrolling through Instagram, if you see something you really like and you want to include that in a video, especially if it's like a travel guide, you can save it on Instagram. You can just use that little tag in the corner of the screen and save it into a particular folder. That's going to make your life a lot easier when it comes to actually planning the content of that video.
If you don't already, have a look at Instagram because your feed is beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yours is beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful.
I need another glass of wine.
Shall we just bring a bottle over?
Yeah.
I'm going to discuss point number 5. And there's actually something that Christianne taught me a year and a bit ago, so I didn't really do that much of it. And it's to start all the different locations on a Google Maps, which I will actually show you now of Christianne's one of the Philippines. And it's such a useful tool because you can also download your Google Maps offline on your phone as well. So as you're traveling, you have an idea idea of the kind of areas that you're traveling to. You know exactly which points and which cafes or restaurants or points of interest, tourist spots that you want to go to, because it's all starred and ready for you to go. And it's also handy as well because you can actually click on each of the stars and access all of the reviews, the latest reviews, the pictures of the location or the restaurant, the food and drinks, which I always click on.
I've left some honest reviews on Google reviews, and I get little notifications saying, oh, like 100 people have read your review, and I'm like, ooh.
Influencer. We are now on section 2, production/filming.
So when you're filming, you want to know the cameras that you have and what they are best used for. So for example, I travel with a GoPro and mirrorless camera, and I know that if I'm going to be doing anything actiony, underwater, or something that I need a really wide angle lens, I'm going to be using my GoPro for that. But if I just am maybe filming something else, I want it to look quite cinematic or really nice slow-mo shots, I'm in a dry setting, I'll always reach for my mirrorless, because that's going to be the highest quality camera.
I would say that as long as it shoots video, then that's the best way to start, and not to get too fixated on all the different features and 4K and all of this. Even though these are bonus things to add to your content, they're not paramount to what you are creating. But it's good to have an idea of, if you know what kind of content you want to focus on, to kind of go for the camera that will best serve that purpose.
And the one that you know how to use easily, that's something that's easy to use.
One thing as well, really important, I would say, for me anyway, because I shoot a lot of cinematic things, that I must have inbuilt stabilisation, either in the camera or the lens, because until you use something that doesn't have stabilisation, you're like, I don't realise how shaky I am. And so you look at it, you're like, damn, I thought that was a really good shot, but you just see what happened.
Unless you're filming everything on a tripod, which is really
I don't
unlikely.
carry around a tripod either. So having that is really, really important for the kind of content that we want to make. Also, for vlogging, we both use the G7X Mark II.
I need to get a new one because mine's like broken.
But otherwise, it's a good camera.
It's the best all-rounder that's not waterproof.
I would say to experiment with different camera angles and to really show a different perspective of the same shot. So this is something that I kind of focus a lot on, because I usually take quite a lot of time to film my food. But I think it's really, really important, because it's good as well if you're starting to film, to know what kind of angle works best for what, and how you can see something complete in a different way, rather than just a standard wide angle. This is a building, this is a plate of pasta.
And it's just so good to have a variety of shots for the edit.
I would say like different types of shots tell a different part of what you're trying to say in a story. Like obviously you've got the ones that are more wide angle to like really establish the scene, establish where you are, but then you can also have the close-up details of certain things to better tell. A lot of things I really like to do, I love focusing on small, minute details that you wouldn't otherwise see, and it really, really adds to the story that you're telling, because it makes people feel like they're there.
I have an example, like if you're filming a waterfall, like the kind of amateur thing to do would just be to film the waterfall, but to really add more depth to it, is there like leaves that are surrounding the waterfall, or the soil that are on the ground, or the rocks, or could you go underwater, could you go behind the waterfall? Like there are so many things that you can do that most people just don't think of. They just walk up to the waterfall and go, that's nice. That's like, you know,
that is lovely.
That is lovely. I like
absolutely lovely. So number 9, although I don't bring a full-on tripod with me when I'm traveling, I do have a mini tripod. It really helps with stabilisation, especially if you don't have a camera that has good stabilisation. It helps just to add that extra bit of weight. So something I really like to do is to hold the camera at one and then hold the tripod, and then just kind of move it steadily. And I also then have my neck strap and push it all the way out, so this part of the strap is tense, and then you can better pan your angles, which is, I believe it's a Peter McKinnon trick.
Did he really come up with it in the first place?
Slow sip. It's a very good trick.
I don't want to give him all the credit.
But it does really, really help, and it makes such a difference.
So if you're just using the inbuilt audio of your camera, it's normally like fairly decent when you're inside, but as soon as you get outside, or even if you're surrounded by people or there's wind, You will be surprised when you come into editing to hear how not great it is. So it's really worth getting some sort of external microphone. Now you can get like a lav mic, which is what we're wearing, just like these little ones which attach to you. You can get the external ones which stick to the top of your camera. Do you know what I don't recommend, which is slightly controversial?
Video Mic Pro.
The Video Mic Pro. It's the most expensive one. It's just the black one that's like a directional mic. Is just shit.
Mine broke.
Mine broke
so quickly, and I was like, "You're so expensive."
And
as well.
I would rely on that audio because it takes over.
Did yours do the
Yeah, it would just be so rubbish. So I don't recommend that one.
Now we are on the final part of this, and this is on the edit.
Something that I always have trouble with is losing footage because hard drives break.
Do we have wood?
What?
Mine's not broken yet.
Oh, touch wood. Back up all of the footage that you do get from your SD card onto a hard drive, but also a backup hard drive. I always thought when I was starting out, oh, that's so extra. And I've now had about 3 hard drives break on me. Or you can invest in an SSD, which is a solid state drive, which I have not done yet because they are
very
quite expensive.
I really want one though. Through our experience of like working with clients as well, I get so
you can't lose a client's work.
I get so paranoid that when I'm editing for Kelly at the start, I brought 3 backups, and she was like, "Wow, you're really prepared." So I will literally back up, and then a backup of the backup, and then a backup.
It takes time, but it's worth it.
Number 12, and it's something that we both do quite well, I like to think, and it's to use music to better tell your story. This is very, very important when it comes to travel videos, because I would say this is what takes your video from being good to
great, and really transporting your viewer into that location. I really like to use culture and country specific music. We both use it's Epidemic Sound because it's copyright free music and it's a subscription service, and I just typed in Greece. It really transported you to Greece, you know, and so somewhere like that, especially where the music is quite predominant. But like in Spain you can use like flamenco music,
and it's also good as well as a builder, or if you've got something going on that, for example, I'm thinking of like when in Antigua we went to a sunset cruise, and it kind of from the journey of going on to the cruise and then to the bit when everyone's dancing, like you can really use music to elevate that mood even more and kind of prepare the audience into like, oh, something's coming, like the beat's about to drop. I would also say that MusicBed is a really great platform for music that you want to have more vocal and drama in. I do quite a lot of cinematic things, and sometimes using music without vocals I find can be quite repetitive. Boring, and I really like MusicBed because they've got such an incredible roster of like indie musicians, like bands. You can choose between different cinematic moods, and I feel like my videos have changed since I've combined that with Epidemic. And if you are interested, I do have a link for a free 30-day trial to MusicBed. This isn't sponsored. I genuinely have so much love for them.
Maybe I should use.
And have we spoken about cutting to the beat?
It's easy and it's quick and it makes such a difference. And that's cutting your clips to the beat of the music, especially when you've got a bunch of B-roll and you can play around with it a lot. When you see the audio waveforms in your editing that there's a beat, cut your clips on that beat, because it's so much more satisfying to watch as a viewer. Better that is.
Number 13, if your camera doesn't have inbuilt stabilisation, that's fine, because a lot of editing software has inbuilt stabilisation within that. It won't completely make it smooth and silky, but it will go a long way.
Don't be afraid to use voiceover when you're in the editing process to help tell the story, especially if you've perhaps forgotten to say something in the filming, or there's something that you can say which will help tie clips together.
I would actually say, since meeting Sassy as well, that's made me even more mindful of kind of improving the experience of the content, so it's not just visually pleasing, but you can actually like tell a story with the use of voiceover and music and just this more like descriptive words.
Sassy is our blind friend from Thinking Out Loud.
Wonderful.
She's wonderful. We
Absolutely
love her.
wonderful.
Hello, Sassy, if you're watching. It's so interesting to hear her perspective on as a blind person watching YouTube videos.
Yeah.
The audio, the sound, and descriptive words in your voiceover makes such a difference.
I feel like it's been great learning for us as creators since meeting Sassy, of just knowing like what kind of things that we could do more of to improve the experience for those who may be hard of sight. If it's a beginner thing, I'm not going to touch on this too much, but I would say you can always colour grade your clips in the edit as well, just to enhance it even more, especially with travel. I feel like sometimes, particularly we kind of shoot on flat. My settings are kind of more flat, so then I can colour grade it in the edit and enhance certain colours and bring colours. Like typically I love very warm looking videos. You love very like bright, vibrant, like very colourful videos. I feel like for me, colour grading is probably the bit that I spend the most time on.
Yours would be beautifully colour graded.
I colour grade every single clip, but I do actually, because I get asked this a lot, use a base LUT, which is kind of like a preset that you apply as an adjustment layer over the top of your clips, and I use that as a base, and then I will then go in and individually colour grade the clips.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. So for like a 27-minute video, you can imagine how long that will take me, because I bloody film and talk a lot.
Yeah, I love the way your videos look though. They make me feel so like cozy, and they're just beautiful.
Yay. That's what I want it to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a different video for another time, because there's a lot to say about that, and I would not say that I'm a pro at all. I'm just dipping my toes in and having a great time. We've reached the last point, and I would say, I don't know about you, like whenever we do talks or anything, do you always get people asking you, what's the perfect length for a video though? Like how long should a video be?
People want to know those right or wrong answers.
And I'm a bit annoying, very annoying, and I'm always like, you just need as long as you need to tell your story. And then for you who's logical minded, you're like, that's not an answer.
No.
For me, I'm like, oh,
If I was new to the
that's not
video
helpful
industry, I would probably ask something like that, and hearing you say that, I would just be like, well, that's not helpful at all.
Yeah.
So but now I'm in it, I understand you saying that. You're right, there is no right or wrong answer.
The only way to find out what works for you is just to go and film and experiment. But you can also check in analytics afterwards and be like, what's the watch time of this video? Like, how long do people typically stay?
My friend Hayden gave me a really good tip. He edits Logan Paul's videos. If at any point during the video, when he's watching it back, he gets bored, he gets bored as an editor, he cuts it out and he rejigs things.
Yeah.
Because if you're getting bored,
Yeah.
then other people will be as well. Watch your own videos back, and if you're getting bored,
It's not a good sign.
it's not a good sign.
The best way to create a good travel video is just to start creating. Like so many people, I'm like, oh, I'm such a perfectionist. Like I want to make sure every single thing is perfect and I've got the right equipment. I'm like, but the longer you do that, you're just putting yourself off and you're not creating. Like the only way to create a good video is to just go out and create it. And then you learn as you're making something of what you want to do more of, what you want to do less of.
Especially in the early stages, you don't need to be a perfectionist. Just kind of try your best. Do what you can do, put it out, and you will improve. Like I look back at my videos from 6 years ago, I'm like, oh god, but I keep them
At the
there.
time, it was amazing.
Yeah, at the time I was like, yeah, it's pretty good.
With things like that, we're so harsh on ourselves, but actually, like, what I try to aim to do is I'm just going to try and create the best video to my ability at this stage, and then anything I create after that will hopefully be an improvement.
Don't compare yourselves to other people. Like you can't have that immediate gratification in this career, because it just doesn't work like that. It is trial and error, and that is how you learn. You can do like video courses, and you can listen to videos like this to learn more and improve your skills, but ultimately
you only learn it when you do it.
You have to try it, yeah.
And on that note, this is going to be the end of our long video. Hopefully this has been useful.
Hopefully she will cut this video down a little bit from how much we've been absolutely waffling.
If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more videos like this, and also food and travel and lifestyle. And definitely hop over to Christie's channel and see the video that we just filmed with lots and lots of food ideas of what you can cook in a hostel kitchen.
If you're going backpacking, or if you're just staying in a hostel.
Yeah.
Or if
just general cheap and easy meals.
Yeah, just general cheap and easy meals if you have a kitchen that just doesn't function too well.
Yeah, but it's a really, really good one. And we're pretty proud of the kind of recipes that we came up with.
We've been working on it all day.
We've been eating all day too.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.